I hope we're all ready. Let me actually end this. Nice background music, but we're going to be talking about the cards today, so we don't really need back. Now, today we're going to be going through all of BloomBurrow, or at least I think Burrow. The cards are a bit weird. There's like 200, the usual like 250-ish, normal looking cards that finish off with a bunch of lands, and then there's a bunch of like, the fancy art stuff, and then there was like 10 cards at the end that were just like reprints. So I have no idea if those are in the set or if those are like commander stuff or just cards you can get in packs. Doesn't matter. Whatever. We're going to do the 251 that include the brand new cool looking lands. Whatever. And I know usually I don't stream on a Wednesday. The only reason I'm doing it today is because the pre-release is on Friday. And I had no other day of the week that I could do this apart from on the Friday. But on the Friday, I'm going to the pre-release. So I can't do this. So we're streaming today, and we're going to do the whole set today. It'll take 6 hours usually to read through and talk through all the cards. I might have to look up some of the new words if they're not explained when we first run into them, because I haven't seen anything of BloomBurrow. The only things I've seen are the reprinted Foxboy Jace and Ral the Otter, which is, I don't know. I wasn't sure about it because I was worried it was going to be similar to the last couple of sets, which was just, here's a bunch of characters with, detective hats. Here's a bunch of characters with cowboy hats, and I wanted a set that was its own thing. And seeing Planeswalkers reprinted just as little furry animal creatures, I was like, is it just going to be the same old, but now everyone's turned into a little furry thing? Hopefully not. And apparently, according to a couple of my friends that have looked through the spoilers, so fingers crossed. But we're starting with first card in the whole set, Vanishing Light. This is a reprint. Good. But yeah, I mean, again, it depends what sort of removal you're looking at. But removal is premium. It's removal. It's in white. I mean, like, Vanishing Light's been printed a million times, and it's been printed as a whole bunch of different things as well. Oblivion Ring and all the rest of the crap. So, and they're all good. Certainly in like draft and limited. I mean, you want as much removal as you can stuff into a deck, really. So, yeah, removal is premium. This is removal. Guess what? It's good. Fantastic. Card 2. Beezer the Bounding Spring. 4 mana, 4/5. When Beezer the Bounding Spring enters. As in enters, I'm assuming that's enters the battlefield. I think I looked that up. They've shortened enters the battlefield to enters. Sure. When Beezer the Bounding Spring enters, create a treasure token if an opponent controls more land than you. Gain 4 life if an opponent has more life than you. Create 2 1/1 blue fish creature tokens if an opponent controls more creatures than you. Draw a card if an opponent has more cards in hand than you. I mean, this is great in draft, right? Because if you're behind in any way, it helps get you back on. Like, if you're behind in mana, it gives you the treasure. If you're lower in life, it heals you. If you're behind on the board, it gives you some extra blockers. If you don't have as many cards in your hand, if your opponent has more cards in hand than you, it draws you a card. I think this card is just good. It's also a 4 mana 4/5, so it's just like fat. Like, if your opponent has more creatures than you, play this, it's a 4/5. What, 6/7? 4, because it's a 4/5 and 2 1/1s. Yeah, this card's good. This card's kind of gross, actually, because they had this on a like a 2 mana spell. It was like, if your opponent controls more creatures, create 2 1/1s. If they've got more life, gain life. If they've got more cards, draw a card. Didn't have the treasure effect on it, and it wasn't a 4/5, but it cost 2 mana. So if they think that effect costs 2 mana, then you're essentially paying 2 mana for a 4/5 that makes a treasure. Because the rest of it, they stapled onto a 2 mana card. 2 mana instant. Creature. No, what's the other one? I can't remember what the other one was. But either way, this card's great. It just has to be, right? It's so much value stapled onto a fine creature, a good creature even, slightly above stats. This thing has to be good in limit. Has to be. It has to be just great in limit. Brave Duo. 1 mana, 1/1, and give target creature +1. Yeah, it's fine. Like, I have no issue with stuff like this. Just sort of generically okay. A 1 mana, 1/1, which is fine, and then it does stuff if you can't swing with it anymore. It does cost mana to do it, which is a bit sad. I'd prefer it just tapped and gave something +1/+1, but maybe that's too strong on a 1 mana, 1/1. But it's okay. I'm not excited about it, but you know, sure, whatever. Bright Blade Stoked is a 2 mana, 2 first strike and lifelink. That is fucking good. That is good because, like, in limited, especially, you're quite happy just playing on curves or 1 mana, 1/1, a 2 mana, 2/2, a 3 mana, 3/3. This having first strike and lifelink as well as being a 2/2 just beats ass. Because this will kill just, like, especially if you've got buff spells or this thing. Like, this can come down as a 2 mana, 2/2 with first strike and lifelink, so your opponent's not swinging bad. Unless they have something with a fat ass. But, and then it can be a 3/3 the next turn with this thing. Yeah, this thing's good. This thing has to be. Again, this thing has to be. First strike's a really good keyword in combat. Lifelink, you just want to keep yourself alive. This is 2 really good keywords stapled to, you know, a fine body. I am the only thing that would make it better would be it being a 3/2. So yeah, I'm good with this. I think this is a good card. Also, I'm not sure my microphone doesn't seem to be picking up my voice as much. Anyway, Builder's Talent. 2 mana. It is they've got levels abilities, level enchantments. Cool. It's been a long time since we've. This was the class cards, right? With the Baldur's Gate expansion. I thought these were cool, at least. Right, so 2 mana, when it enters the battlefield, create a 0/4 white war creature token with Defender. Sure. For an extra 1 mana, whenever 1 or more non-creature, non-land permanents you control enter, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Non-creature, non-land permanent. So this is artifacts, enchantments, that sort of thing. Okay, sure. You could make that useful, maybe. And for 5 more, when this class becomes level 3, return target non-land. Okay, from the graveyard to the battlefield. This is like artifact or enchantment shenanigans. Which is fine. I mean, there's already decks that like to do this sort of put stuff in the graveyard and then reanimate it bullshit. They're never very good, and also in limited, I wouldn't care for this. Like limited, you're not going to be able to build enough. You're probably not going to have enough enchantments or artifacts in your deck unless it is built for it. And in limited, you can't guarantee you build like specific. I guess in nah. I don't like it. I don't think it's that. I think it's there too specific. I think. I don't like it. Caretaker's Talent. Okay. 3 mana. Whenever 1 or more tokens you control enter, draw a card. This ability only triggers once. Fine, whatever. That's good for token generators. We haven't seen any token. Actually, no. We've got the 4 mana guy does create the fish token. Sure.
What are you doing?
Hey Quirks, how you doing? What's this game? Sorry, I was looking at the cards, didn't look across. No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. And this game is called Magic the Gathering. It's sort of the original card game before Yu-Gi-Oh, before Pokemon, before any of that. And it's what I play, and it's what I'm going and playing on Friday. But this is the new cards they're releasing, so I'm kind of talking through them and trying to decide if I think they're good or not. But Yeah, I'm not really sure about this one. When this class becomes level 2, create a token that's a copy of target token. Sure, and then for 4 extra mana, creature tokens you control get +2/+2. It's like Clash of Clans, how you play. No, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! These are cards that you buy. You can also play it online, like Hearthstone. But yeah, it's a proper tabletop card game. That's why I'm going out on Friday. I have to drive 3 hours or 3.5 to a card store, sit down and play with other people. Where you see the attack and defense, this card doesn't have any because it's an enchantment. Let's see if we can find a creature. As for this card, it's good for token generators. I don't know how much token generation there is in the set, so I'll give it an This is also not a creature. This is a food. 2 mana. When Carrot Cake enters, and when you sacrifice it, create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token and scry 1. You can sacrifice it to gain 3 life. There's a token generator, I suppose. Available for mobile. Magic the Gathering Arena is. Yeah. MTGA. Magic the Gathering Arena. It's the online version, sort of like Hearthstone. Yeah, so what do I think of Carrot Cake? I mean, it's 2 creatures. It's 2 1/1s for 2, but it's it's 2 1/1s for 4. Does let you scry. I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't be excited about it in my deck either. Crumb and Get It. Okay, 1 mana instant. Gift a food. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast this spell. If you do, they create a food token before its other effects. It's an artifact that sacrifices. Okay. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If the gift was promised, so if they get food, the creature also gains indestructible until end of turn. Can we play together if I download? You can play against each other, but that's about it. And I don't know how much you'd enjoy playing against me because I have a lot more of the cards, so I probably... It's a very, if you have good cards, you're more likely to win sort of game. So, I mean, you're always, feel free to download it, and then, for me, it only shows Hearthstone. You might, it is playable on mobile, because I have it on my mobile phone, but you do need a newer mobile phone to play it. Right. So yeah, I think Crumb and Get It is a fine little instant combat trick. Again, I'm not too big on combat tricks because it's an easy way to get yourself 2 for 1, but I mean, it's not bad. Not anything like Magic the Gathering. Yeah, if you can't see it, then you might not. Only available for iPhone. Now, I've got it on Android, but I've got a newer Android. Dawn's Truce. Okay. A 2 mana instant. Gift a card. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast a spell. If you do, they draw a card. Sure. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. If the gift was promised, permanents you control also gain indestructible. This is good, right? In white specifically, especially if you like white weenies. Like, if you're doing lots of little dudes and tokens with white, and then your opponent tries to blow the board up, you can just Dawn's Truce. If they try and target something, because it's permanents, it's not just creatures. So if they try and target something that you have that you don't want them to, I think this card's good. Limited. I don't think it's as good in limited because I don't know how much of a board you're going to be able to build. But I mean, you could swing for the fences, and when your opponent blocks, you could give everything you control indestructible. I don't think the hexproof is going to matter that much. I mean, maybe it does. I think this is a good card. Yeah, I think this is a good card. Just because of the indestructibility, instant speed. Can you gift me some cards? The online one gives you a bunch of free stuff. I don't think you can send gifts like that, no. Do drop cure for 3 mana. Gift a card. Okay, so white does a lot of gifting, it would appear. Or does all of the cards do a lot? Do all of the colors do a lot of gifting? I'm not sure. You may promise a card. An opponent a gift as you cast a spell. If they do, they draw a card. Sure. Return 2 target creature cards, each with mana value 2 or less, from your graveyard to the battlefield. If the gift was promised, instead return up to 3 target creature cards with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. I mean, so far, the only creatures we've seen have been this Stoat, this Bravekin duo, and Visa. And Visa you can't hit with it because it's 4 instead of 2. So currently I'm bringing back, what, 3 Brightblade Stoats? But that's the best Dewdrop's Cure is doing. Which is fine. I mean, it's pretty good actually. But like again, this is an uncommon. You're not getting 3 of these. If you do, I mean, run all 3 of them. But you're probably not getting 3 of those. So, and even then, you're probably not getting them all. I don't know. This is one of those cards that I'm always like, yeah, sure. Like technically, if you pay 3 and gift a card, you're getting 6 mana's worth of creature, or the maximum you can get is 6 mana's worth of creatures for 3. For 3 mana. Which sounds great, but it's never that good. Like, it's always just kind of never that good, right? So I'm going to say I don't think it's going to be that good. It's going to be kind of naff. I don't know, because I'm going to say it's crap, and then I'm going to get absolutely blown out by it on the pre-release, but I don't think it's that good. Rift Gloom Coyote. Okay. 5 mana for a 3/4. Okay. When Drift Gloom Coyote enters, exile target creature an opponent controls until Drift Gloom Coyote leaves the battlefield. Okay. If that creature had power 2 or less, put a +1/+1 counter on it to make it 4/5. This is good, right? It's exiles. It is just good. It's a creature that has an exile effect on it. This is good in limited because you play this creature, you remove one of your opponent's creatures. And if it's something weak and crappy, this thing just gets bigger. Like, this thing being a 4/5 is no joke. That's currently equal to the strongest creature we've seen. I don't know how big creatures in this set are going to get, but yeah. I think this is a good card. And I mean, even if there are bigger things, this can just exile it. So I think this is a good card. Like, a 5 mana 3/4, I usually wouldn't even consider, but it has removal staple to it, and any creature with removal staple to it, I'll take. I think this is really good in limited. Essence Channeler. Okay. 2 mana for a 2/1. As long as you've lost life this turn, Essence Channeler has flying and vigilance. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and when it dies, put its counters on target creature you. Have we seen any life gain? Like the first creature we saw, the Beezer. I guess Carrot Cake. Carrot Cake also gains you through life. The Blightspade Stoke has life link. I mean, this can be good. I think this might actually be kind of scary good in some of the new life linker or some of the previous life healing builds. Because it's very similar to the 2 mana 2/2 that gets +1/+1 counters, and when it has 4 it has flying and vigilance, and when it has 10 it's indestructible. This one doesn't have flying and vigilance unless you've lost life. So you have to come up with a way to hurt yourself. But you don't really care about the indestructible, because if this thing dies, you just put its +1/+1 counters on something else. Hey Eugene, how you doing? Is it good in limited specifically? I think if you build around it, I think it can be, but I think it can also just, you might not be able to put the deck together. We'll have to see how much like self-damage and healing there is in the set, but I think there's a chance that you just don't manage to put the deck together. Um, Feather of Flight. Okay. 2 mana for an enchantment with flash. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. I like that. And enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and has flying. I think this is good. Very good in limited. Gives your card evasion, replaces itself. It has flash, so you can do it at instant speed. This is one of the better enchantments I've seen in a long time. I like this card. I think this card's actually really good. Like, probably massively overperforms. You just whack it on something, that thing has flying. You get the draw out of it as soon as it enters. The only way this is bad is if your opponent, like, blows the card up and 2-for-1s you, but it has flash. So you can wait until they don't have anything and then just do it and crack them. I think this is good. Flowerfoot Swordmaster. Okay. 1 mana for a 1/2 with Valiant. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, so whenever you buff it, mice you control get +1 attack. And it is a mouse. Cool. Offspring 2. You may pay an additional 2 as you can, which would you do when this creature enters, create a 1/1 token copy of it. Yeah, only 1 mana, yeah. And it comes, so for 1 mana, it's a 1/2 with the Valiant ability, so if you buff it, everything gets bigger. And for 3 mana, it's 2 copies. Both of which you can technically target the Valiant on, although you'd need 2 separate spells to do it. But even if you just use the 1 buff spell we've got, 2 copies of that would be... So the 1/1 would go to a 3/3, this would go to a 3/4. And then both of them would trigger, so they'd be both 5 something, 5 power. I went outside, sorry. Am I strong in this pack? I have no idea. We've only just started looking, Eugene. I'm downloading the game. Oh, okay. That's cool, Quirks. I can load it up after the stream, but for now, obviously, I'm on this screen doing the cards. I have no idea. BloomSburrow is supposed to be like lots of little, furry creatures. We've seen a bat. We've got the weasel. There's another mouse there. So, I mean, maybe mouse is a archetype or whatever. I'm not sure. But yeah, Flowerfoot Swordmaster, I think is good. I think I'd run in limited. I think I'd run 1 or 2 of these. I wouldn't mind them at all. I mean, it's a 1/2 on turn 1, so it can probably block anything your opponent played, and it can just buff itself and other things. I'm not playing today. No, I'm just going through. There's over 200 new cards, so it's gonna take me about 6 hours to go through all the new cards and talk through them. And that's my plan for today. That's the whole stream. It's just me looking through the cards and talking about them. I do this every time there's a new set in Magic. Although usually I don't do it on a Wednesday. Usually I actually have a day set up for it. But this time it was just a Wednesday. So, what is that word? Harvest Straight Host. Sure. Is a 3 mana 3/3, and when it or another rabbit enters, target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and then draw a card if this is the second time this ability has resolved. Again, I don't know how strong rabbits are. We haven't seen any other rabbits, right? Oh no, yeah, there's a rabbit there, so there's 1. And I think the carrot cake makes rabbits, right? Yeah, white rabbit creature tokens. I'm not going to be able to play. I'm not playing anything today, no. By the time we get to the end of these cards, it's going to probably be like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But yeah, like I said, I can. I do play Magic regularly, so I'll see if I can. Like next week on Friday, we'll be doing draft for the first time for the new set. So you'll be able to see my my username on Magic. You can add me, and then at some point we can always play a couple of games. Like I said, you'll get a bunch of free decks. So and there's also the tutorial, so you can play the tutorial. It'll teach you a little bit. But yeah, I like Magic a lot. So yeah, for the Haver Strike Host, Again, I think it depends what other rabbits there are. I'm not really sure. I don't really know how good this is because I don't know what the other rabbits are like or how many other rabbits there are. So maybe this is good. Maybe it's terrible. It depends if rabbits are good, I guess. I'll give it a rabbit out of 5 because I don't know. Hop to it. Okay, well, here's some rabbits. 3 mana for 3 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens. Is Magic on Steam? No, you have to find it on Google. Just type in MTGA or Magic the Gathering Arena. You're going to play Magic Friday. Can't we play Friday? Yes. I mean, I'll be doing a couple of drafts, and you won't be able to draft at the same. You can't draft with other people, but I could play a couple of just me versus you games, and then do a draft, and then a couple of me versus you games, and then do a draft or something. But we'll see. I could definitely play a couple of games against you. Again, the issue being, I'm going to have probably a lot better cards. Maybe I'll make some weird derpy. Maybe I'll make like a full rabbit deck or something. We'll see. But yeah. Create 3 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens. So if you Harvest Strike Host and then the turn after hop to it, this goes to being what, a 6/1 and you draw a card because 3 white rabbits enter. All right, see you later, Quirks. So yeah, hop to it, triggers Harvest Strike Host 3 times. It goes to being a 6/3 and you draw a card. Not bad. On Steam, there's a game called Magic the Gathering Arena. I don't know. I mean, I don't do it through Steam. I got it off just the YouTube. It's free. Yeah, it is free. Not off YouTube. I got it off Google. I just Googled Magic the Gathering Arena because, well, to be fair, I played Magic the card game before Magic the Gathering Arena ever existed. So when there was word of a Magic the Gathering Arena, I applied for the closed beta and got closed beta access before it was on anything. So, yeah, that was years ago, though. So maybe it's on Steam. I'm not sure. Intrepid Rabbit. Oh, we got another rabbit. So it is a 3 mana 3/2. When this creature enters target creature you control gets +1/+1, and it has Offspring. So for 4 mana, Offspring 1. So for 4 mana, you can get another trigger, which is pretty good actually. Like if you Harvest Strike Host and then on turn 4 you just play the Intrepid Rabbit and Offspring it. Again, that triggers Harvest Strike Host and to give itself +2/+0, assuming you have no other cards. And you draw the card, and it gets +2/+2 from this. Rabbit might actually be pretty good. 8.2 gigabytes. There's a lot of cards. There's a lot of cards in Magic the Gathering Arena. Jackdaw Savior. Okay. 3 mana, 3/1 flyer. We like flyers. Probably pretty good. Yeah, I think maybe Rabbit is actually, and like this one as well, I think maybe this is pretty good in Limited at least. When Jackdaw Savior or another creature you control with flying dies, okay, return another target creature card with lesser mana value from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, yeah, this is a good card. This is good in Limited, especially in white. It's a 3 mana 3/1 that when it dies with flying, that's just going to keep smacking your opponent in the face. This is just an animal pack? Yeah, sort of. So the way Magic... It's a bit complicated. The way Magic used to work is they have these things called planes, which are like their own mini-universes. And we are what's called planeswalkers, which means we can travel between them. So every time they went to a new plane, it would be completely different from the old plane. They had like one that was filled with vampires and werewolves and zombies. They had like a horror one. They had one that was super advanced technology-wise with a bunch of vehicles and stuff like that. They had one that was that had 10 different schools of magic that were all fighting to rule the entire sort of area. They had one where elementals, like the land came to life. They had one that was full of dinosaurs. You know, they just had a bunch of different planes that were filled with different things. But in one of the more recent sets, they kind of blew it up and said that now all the planes are connected, so now everyone can just walk to different planes. Which means that the last couple have just been like the same like 5 characters walking around doing like just dumb shit. So I haven't really enjoyed that very much. But BloomBurrow seems to be, hopefully, just, you know, a brand new plane that we've never been to before, and it's full of weird, tiny critters in it. I don't know. You are correct. It is, you know, the animal pack. But, yeah, I haven't really looked through yet, but it's, yeah, it looks like rabbits, mouses, there's a bird. We had a bat earlier. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be a bunch of critters in the forest. Jolly Gerbils. 2 mana for a 2/3. Whenever you give a gift, draw a card. This card's good, I think. There's been a bunch of gift giving. So I know this one's been Offspring and all that, but we had, what, gift a card here, gift a card here, gift a card here. And all of them, most of them seem to be your opponent draws a card. But if those change from your opponent draws a card to both of you draw a card, that's actually pretty good, right? You play this, you play a gift card, both of you and your opponent draw a card. You just, you know, it doesn't look... The fish looks so cute and huggable. I mean, it's currently getting a hug. But yeah, that, I think that's pretty good. I don't know... Yeah, I mean, we've already seen 3 gift cards. If there's a number of gift cards in each color, these probably can go in pretty much anything. So I'd say they're probably good in limited as well, just so that your opponent doesn't get card advantage when you're trying to play gift stuff. I don't mind this. Life Creed Duo. Okay, 2 mana for a 1/2 with flying. Whenever another creature you control enters, gain a life. Yeah, this is good. I'd play this. You just, you know, sit there with this out, gaining life. I mean, the good ones with this effect are whenever another creature enters, not just you control, and they usually cost 1 mana. But I mean, this is still fine. Mabel's Metal. Funny joke at the bottom. Why are you eating upside down? Asked the bird. Why are you eating upside up? Replied the bat. I like it. Mabel's Metal. 2 mana for instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Up to 1 other target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Oh, so with this card, you can trigger both of them simultaneously with the same instant, which is a lot of power. I like that. This one might actually be one of the better instant. It doesn't give any protection, though. That's the only problem. No protection, but buffs to 2 things on the attack. I think this is good. Yeah, I think this is the a good buff spell. The previous buff spell, the one all the way back here. Where's this one? Crumb and Get It. It's fine. It does give indestructible, I suppose, which makes it better than this, but this targets 2 creatures, so I prefer this. Mouse Trapper. 3 mana. 3/2 with flash. Okay. Whenever Mouse Trapper becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, tap target creature an opponent controls. If it's spell or ability, actually, doesn't this... We're back. Doesn't this 1/1 trigger it? Maybe this 1/1's better than I thought because it triggers all of the Valiant abilities. Yeah. I think I like that 1/1 more than I thought because it's going to be triggering all your abilities. Hey, I don't know. How you doing? Yeah, I think that little mouse duo is actually considerably better than I thought. If it's going to be triggering, if Valiant is going to come up a lot. But what do I think of this guy? I mean, it's a 3-2 with flash. You play at the end of your opponent's turn. It's not bad. I think this is good, actually. Just because of the flash. The 3-2 with flash. Nettle Guard. 2 mana, 3-1. Whenever it becomes the target of spell or ability for the first time each turn, it becomes a 3-3. And you can always sacrifice it to destroy target artifact or enchantment. Not, you know, insanely good, but it's a card you're probably going to be running like at least 1 or 2 of. Probably 1. I think you're at least happy with 1, right? I think 1 you're happy with. Lots of mice. Yeah, that's true. Those mice buff cards are starting to look a little bit better, huh? Parting Gust. 2 mana. Gift a tapped fish. You may promise an opponent a gift. If you do, they create a 1/1 blue fish creature token or its other effects. It is tapped, though. Exile target non-token creature. If the gift was promised, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it at the beginning of the next end step. Okay, so it's a bounce effect. But you could bounce an offspring card. Oh no, that's cast. No, you can't. Why would you do that? I mean, maybe bounce rabbits to trigger the rabbit effect. Got anything else that's good for bouncing? I mean, the Drift Gloom Coyote, I suppose. If there's stuff if there's something new you want to get rid of. You just had 7 views and instantly jumped down to 2. Oh, well, I mean, people can come in and look or disappear. I mean, people are free to do whatever they want, right? This card is... Maybe there's something interesting you can do with it. I mean, you could probably re-trigger the first card we looked at, the Bezer or whatever, but that's a mythic rare, and you can't plan on having a mythic rare. I don't know. It's bounce. Bounce out of 5, because bounce is sometimes good, sometimes terrible. I'm not really sure. In limited, I mean, the thing is, you can also do it to an opponent's creature. So if you just need that little bit of damage through, you could always, you know, exile an opponent's creature and then swing. Why would you gift your opponent a fish? So if you gift them the fish, the creature that you get rid of comes back with a +1/+1 counter, so it comes back stronger. So if you're targeting your own things, you might gift them a fish so that when you bounce the creature, it comes back better. Because, yeah, it says on the card, if the gift... Oh. Oh, no. If the gift wasn't promised. That's the wrong way around. Okay. So, you exile target non-token creature. Generally, your opponent's thing. If you give them a fish, it comes back normal. If you don't give them a fish, it comes back with a +1/+1 counter. So if you're targeting your own things, you don't pay the promise and your stuff comes back stronger. If you're targeting your opponent's thing, you give them the fish so that they don't get stronger. I mean, it's a bit... Giving them the fish is an extra +1/+1 anyway, so I don't think you pay the gift on this one. Ever, really, right? I don't know. I don't think I like this card. I don't think it's very good. Pileated Provisioner. 5 mana, 3/4 flyer. Sure. When it enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control without flying. Okay. I mean, it's a flyer, right? Like, it's just a big flyer. Big. The biggest flyer we've seen so far. So yeah, I think this is fine. This is fine in limited. It's a flyer. It's a bit expensive, but it is just a flyer, and that's all you really care about. So it's probably fine. Rabbit Response. 4 mana, creatures you control get +2/+1 till end of turn. You control a rabbit, scry 2. This is your overwhelm. Rust's voice actor died. Oh no. That's sad. I liked Rust's voice. It was cool. Yeah, this is your general overrun. You want maybe one of these if you're doing weenies. It's not too exciting. Yeah, pretty generic. Repel Calamity. 2 mana, destroy target creature with power or toughness 4 or greater. Oh, this is just better than every other white removal spell that white currently uses, right? Apart from Get Lost. Because they've got like Destroy Evil, which is power 4 or greater, and there's another one that's toughness 4 or greater. This is either and costs 1 less. So this is just insane. This is a really good card. I don't know about in limited because I don't know what's going to have more than 4 power or toughness, but yeah, I'd say this is a really good card. This is a really good card. What? Salvation Swan is a 4 mana 3/3 flyer with flash, which is really good. Whenever Salvation Swan or another bird you control enters, exile up to 1 target creature you control without flying, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it at the beginning of the next end step. Okay, this card's great. I mean, it's a flying 3/3 that you can play, you know, at the end of your opponent's turn and give one of your dudes on the ground flying. Or before that, you can do it before they go to the end step, I guess. So that, would you do that, or would you just do it during the end step? I guess you. Yeah, I'd probably do it before you go to the end step, because then you'd get the flyer back, the dude back with flying. Yeah, I think this card's good. I think this card is very, very good and limited. Right, like 4 mana 3/3 flyer with flash. This card is really, really good and limited. And you can bounce your own stuff and bring them back as flyers. You do have to have a way to make other birds after the initial one, but even just the initial proc is going to be enough, right? Yeah, I think this is good. Season of the Burrow. 5 mana. Choose up to 5 paw prints worth of modes. You may choose the same mode more than one. Okay. So you could create 5 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens and trigger all your rabbit effects 5 times. You could exile target non-land permanent. Its controller draws a card for 2. Okay, so that's removal, which is good. And for 3, you can return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it. Ooh. Ooh. I mean, what do we want to return? I mean, Jackdaw Savior would be gross, right? You'd just come back and then you're a pain in the ass. Can you do it like with Pokemon where you can enter a code to get your IRL cards into the digital game? No, you cannot. Sadly, no. I think they should put something like that into Magic, but I don't think they ever will. Which is a bit sad. I mean, I like this card, right? Like, this is great in Limited. It's either 5 dudes, 2 instances of removal, or, like, bring a dude back, and then, you know, choose the rest. Like, I think this is good. Yeah, I think this is good. I think this is very good. Like, at worst, it's 5 mana, make 5 dudes, which in white, and they're all rabbits, and we've had a bunch of rabbit synergy and mouse synergy. I think this is really good. Yeah, I like this card. I like this card a lot. Seasoned Warren Guard. Okay, a 1 mana 1/2. Whenever Seasoned Warren Guard attacks where you control a token, he gets +2, so he becomes a 3/2 until end of turn. Not bad. It looks like white's going to be very early rabbit and mouse aggression with lots of tokens, which I quite like. I think that's pretty good.
My tutorial enemy sucks.
Yeah,
I'm assuming you're on Magic, and a lot of the tutorial. I mean, the computer tutorials are all brain dead. But playing against the players, when you finish the color tutorial, the last fight is always against a player. You'll either get someone who has no idea what they're doing because they're at the same point you are, or someone that'll absolutely crush you in 3 turns with a custom built deck. That's the 2 settings. Strike Force. Okay. Is a 3 mana, 1/3 with flying, double strike, and vigilant. Why is the color so? Look, they're changing color on the mana on the expansion sim. Why is that? What the fuck is going on there? Right. Again, it's flying. We probably take flying because we like flying. It's got double strike, so it holds buffs really well. Yeah, this card's probably really good. This card is probably something to be really scared of, actually. If your opponent plays this, you kind of have to deal with it, or else you could take 6 damage the following turn really easily. I like that card. Yeah, I think this is really good in limited. Sonar Strike. 2 mana, deals 4 damage to attacking, blocking, or tapped creature, and you gain 3 life if you control a bat. Ooh, we did have that bat that likes healing. That's pretty good. Maybe bats are going to be all about healing. Maybe there'll be white-black bats that do all about healing. Pretty good. Yeah, this is not as good removal as Repel Calamity. But I mean, it'll take care of anything that's Repel Calamity doesn't, right? Anything below 4, this blows up. Anything above floor, Repel Calamity's got covered. So, not terrible, not great. Run it if you need it. If you have better removal, then it's probably meh. Star Charter, a 4 mana, 3/1 flyer. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained or lost life this turn, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with power 3 or less from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. GG easy. Good work, Eugene. So bats care about losing or gaining life here. What do I think of this effect? Look at the top 4. I mean, the thing is, in limited, it's a flyer, right? You don't anything stapled onto flying is just bonus points. So I think in limited, you just take this, right? It's flying. That's all you care about. You're like, oh, a 4 mana 3/1 flyer that's slightly understated, but it's got flying, so you just run it, right? You just do. Starfall Invocation. 5 mana sorcery, gift a card. You may promise an opponent a gift. Do they draw a card yet? Destroy all creatures. If the gift was promised, return a creature card, put it into your graveyard this way to the battlefield. Oh, this card's great. This card's really good. It's a board wipe where if your opponent draws a card, you get to keep something. And it's not, usually that sort of thing are oh, both of you get to keep a card or some bullshit like that. No, this is just you. And because it goes to the graveyard and then comes back to the battlefield, you can trigger any enter the battlefield effects again. This card's good. I like this card. I like this card a lot. Even in limited as well, board wipes are always so good because you could just wait until your opponent has played too much of the board and then just nuke it. And then you're immediately ahead because you knew it was coming. This is a great card. Thistle Down Players. 3 mana for a 3/3. When it attacks, untap target non-land permanent. So essentially, it has Vigilant base. But you can use it to untap other creatures as well. I mean, it's a 3 mana 3/3. It's not bad. Use it to untap something you need to block with. I don't hate this card. I think it's a very, mediocre card, though. If you've got 20-something cards, you take one of these as why not. Valley Quest Caller. A 2-mana 2/3. Whenever one or more other rabbits, bats, birds, or mice you control enters the battlefield, scry 1. Other rabbits, bats, birds, and mice get +1/+1. Okay, this is very good. That is essentially the entirety of white, right? Every creature we've seen has been a rabbit, bat, bird, or mice, or mouse, apart from maybe that stoat. Yeah, this is your mice battle card. This is really good. Like, not only is it got the Lord effect for 4 different types, it also has the scry 1 whenever you play them. This card is really fucking good. If you get this card, you're probably playing just this card and a bunch of rabbits, bats, birds, and mice. Right? And ways to generate them. You just have to, right? Warren Elder, a 2-mana, 2/2 rabbit that creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. This isn't bad. Like, I don't mind having one of these cards in a deck, especially if you're doing a bunch of tokens, just because it's then a threat. Like, you can just swing and leave up the 4 mana, and your opponent has to remember that you can always just punt the entire field. So, I think this is good. I think it's good, at least. Just because it's threatening. Warren War Leader. Holy God, okay. 4 mana for a 4/4, another rabbit, with Offspring 2, so for 6 mana you can make an extra copy of this. Whenever you attack, not that, this is just whenever you declare attacks, you either create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token that's tapped and attacking, or attacking creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. So for 6 mana, if you play this and Offspring it, swing with anything, you can make a 1/1 and pump everything. Because you can do both. Or you can make 2 1/1s. This card is bonkers, right? Just because it doesn't have to do anything, it does. As long as you've got a creature on the field, it does something immediately because you play it and then just swing. Whether you Offspring it or not. I think this card is kind of bonkers. I think it has to be, right? Yeah. And like, especially with this guy, like if you have the rabbit warrior guy as well, like this is just make 2/2s, they all become 3/3s and everything's crazy and get scries and yeah, this is nuts. Have you ever played Legend of Runeterra? I tried Legends of Runeterra, but unfortunately, again, because I'm so used to Magic, it felt like Magic but with a bunch of stuff missing. So, I just kept playing Magic. It's the same with like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Hearthstone and Pokemon cards. It just feels like they're Magic, but not quite as good. Because Magic has existed longer. At least to me, but that's because I've been playing Magic for such a long time, so... yeah. Wax Wayne Witness. Okay. 4 mana for a 2/4 Flying Vigilance. Again, you probably just take this because it's a flyer. Whenever you gain or lose life during your turns, Wax Wayne Witness gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It has Tam Kench. I don't. Does it? I played it when it first came out. It's not so much like the characters. The problem I have is, like I said, like this card having like flying and vigilance and all that sort of stuff. Like Legends of Runeterra had that. It had like the overpower, which was essentially trample. It had fast attack, which was first strike. They had was it like Shroud or something? Something that's essentially flying. It can only be blocked by other creatures with that ability. Like, it has all the base keywords that Magic already has, but take, like, Offspring 2. That's a mechanic that is in this set and has been made specifically for this set. When I first played Legends of Runeterra, they didn't have anything like that. They just had, you know, basic keywords like trample and flying and first strike. And I was there like, okay, but if I just wanted to play with basic keywords, why would I not just like it? There wasn't anything. The evolving champions, that was the only thing it had though. That was the one difference that made it unique. And like, I it wasn't there wasn't enough interesting variation for me and like decks that I wanted to build. Because I couldn't build like, oh, in the next set I might build an offspring rabbit deck, or I might build whatever one of the other colors is, or you know, the colors all do something different, and they'll all have these interconnecting mechanics or different mechanics. And because there's like 10 different sets that have come out, there's a whole bunch of different mechanics that interweave together. And when Legends of Runeterra first came out, it was like, here's 15 champions. They all have basic keywords. That's it. And the champion does something cool if you manage to do something. Sure. But yeah, maybe nowadays it's better. But back when I first played it, I was just there like, I mean, it's missing so much that makes Magic good. Because it just doesn't have a bunch of like interesting effects in it. So yeah, I just bounced off it, unfortunately. Yeah, Waxwayne Witness. I mean, it has flying. You probably just take it for limited, right? Everything with flying you just take for limited. I still haven't seen a massive amount of gain or lose life. We've seen like 1 or 2 cards that do it. So I guess black maybe will have a bunch of gain or lose life stuff. I mean, we've got something that you gain life whenever a creature enters, so maybe that works with it, but like, meh. I'd probably just take it because it's flying. As flying, so you take it, right? Whiskervale Forerunner. Another mouse. Right, 4 mana, 3/4 with Valiant. Whenever he becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with mana value 3 or less from among them and put it onto the battlefield if it's your turn. If you don't put it onto the battlefield, put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is fucking stupid, right? Because all you need is like any triggered. I haven't actually got that many. Where's the guy? The really early rabbit duo thing. This. So all you need is this, and every single turn you can just draw. You can put a creature card from the top 5 of your library onto the battlefield if it costs 3 or less. Right? It's literally 1 mana, tap a dude, look at the top 5, put something 3 or less onto the battlefield. That's crazy good. Like, I mean, again, it can't. No, because that's a common. You could probably get this in that common. Why would I enchant my enemy's creatures? Why can you do that? Because there's enchantments that make it so creatures can't attack. Things like that. Yeah, enchantments can do different things. Yeah, I think this card is really good, especially in limited. Because if you have any way of triggering it regularly, or as soon as it comes in, it's just gross, right? Like, it's so good. This has to be good. I think this is maybe one of the better cards, one of the best cards we've seen. Is it better than the Warren War Leader? I'm not sure. But it might be. Just to get stuff going, it might be. Oh, we're on to blue. Okay. So, what did I think of white? It looks like white's doing 2 things. Lots of mice and rabbits, and then like lose life, gain life shenanigans. This guy is insane. This guy's probably the best card. I like the Warren War Leader just because it's really good.
But I think the Valley Quest Caller is like the best card, right? Literally, if you play another white creature, essentially from the whole fucking set, scry 1, and every other white creature you control gets bigger. This card is insane. But there's some good cards. So white's doing a lot of weenie stuff again.